Hi, everyone. This is Mindy Wilson. I am the internship coordinator at Center College. Most of you have been in touch with me over the last couple months about your internships this summer. Um, excuse me. Because we're not meeting in person this spring, I was unable to hold a pre-internship meeting, and because of some things being up in the air this summer, I've just now been able to kind of get all of this stuff together for you. Um, and so I'd like you to watch this short video about summer internships, whether receiving funding or academic credit. So first, we'll talk a little bit about internship funding. If you're a credit student and you're not receiving funding, you can fast forward a little bit. However, some of these things are still applicable to you, so you might want to listen in. It won't take that long. If you are receiving both funding and credit, then you want to listen to both sections of these. So internship funding information, as you know, I emailed everybody yesterday to let them know that the distribution is going to be 80% of your funding will be distributed to you on June 30th and 20% on August 31st. If you have contacted me about other arrangements, that will be in effect as well. All stipends are taxed. Please know that your stipends will be taxed, so your checks will be smaller than the total number that you received. And then finally, your contracts must be approved ASAP. There are a couple of you out there still, your contracts have not been approved by your supervisors yet, and we need to have that done. I do want to mention that if anything comes up and you receive funding, but something changes with your internship, please let me know and we will work out whatever details we need to with that, whether that's a cancellation of your internship, or if things have changed and you don't need as much or something like that. Likely we'll ask you to pay back what you received, but I'd like to talk to you about your individual circumstances as like if you buy a plane ticket and that's non-refundable, we will likely not require you to return the money for that plane ticket. We will figure that out, and that's why I need you to talk to me so that we can figure out what you owe us back, or how we can change to support the changes in your internships. We already know that a lot of them have been changed, and I expect some of those to change a little bit too as we proceed. Requirements. You all signed your letter of acceptance that put out the requirements for you. If you have questions or you need to refer to that later, please see my email with that. Or I've also put this in Moodle for your use and to be able to refer to. But the basics are that you'll have to do an internship showcase. Normally we do this in person, but I am pretty sure that in the fall we will not be able to do group things in person. And so we are planning a virtual showcase. I am working on getting that information together. As soon as I have that, I'll give it to you. Likely what it will look like is you creating a poster. We'll give you all of the tools to do that. It will not be printed, but it will be created as a JPEG or some other file, and then we will upload that. And what we would like you to do is create a presentation like this, showing your slide and talking about it. Again, I will give you all the information. I'm working with the library to create explicit instructions for you. So if you've never done this before, then don't worry, we'll figure it out together. I'll get that to you as soon as I have that together, and I will also post it in Moodle. The Internship Spotlight Tumblr, if you have not seen that before, please go into Moodle and find that section. There is a link to the Tumblr. It's a little bit out of date. This year got away from all of us a little bit and it's behind, but what we do is post on there a picture of interns, where they interned, a little bit about the internship, so that we can celebrate what you've done, but also show prospective students, faculty, staff, people who ask about what kinds of internships are being done, what those look like. I do not require you to be part of the Tumblr. I do know that there are privacy issues related to that, and so if you do not want to be online for some reason, that's completely fine. You do, however, have to complete the survey in Moodle about this. In the survey, you give me permission to post or not. I encourage you to be part of this. I think that it's great to see all of the different internships that students have done, and especially all the virtual ones that are being done right now, to show what what other students can do, and what center is doing. You'll also have to do a post-internship assessment that is online through a Qualtrics survey. You will need a copy of your contract to do that. I know that you don't have a copy of that yet. As soon as they are all approved, I will be able to download them, and then I will email you a copy. When you get that, please save it. You'll need it. You'll do a post-internship reflection, and that's a 2-page reflection about what you learned, what you hope to do with this information, things like that. The donor survey is in also Qualtrics survey that is run by the Alumni Office and Development Office. All of you are receiving funding due to donors this summer. And so the Development Office does keep in touch with all of our donors to let them know where you interned and what you did. There are lots of questions in there about things you're involved in at center for you to complete as well. And then there's a place for you to upload a thank you letter. So please write a thank you letter. And you'll see in your letter of acceptance what that entails, what we would like you to put in there. And then finally, if you're receiving academic credit and funding, you have to actually pass your academic credit course in order to receive your funding. Academic credit internships, a quick rundown. The syllabus is in Moodle. Please go take a look at that to see what's required of you. It's very similar to funding, but there are a couple of extra things that you have to do. You have to complete a time card. If you're receiving just funding and not credit, then you do not need a time card, but those receiving academic credit need a time card. You can find a copy of that in Moodle. And what you need to do is complete that. It's pretty obvious how to do so, but I do need you to sign it and your supervisor to sign it. I do know that if you're doing a virtual internship, this could be difficult. Please use technology available to you to scan, sign, print out, sign, whatever you can get. If you haven't already created a virtual signature, you might consider doing so. It's easy enough. You could sign a piece of paper, take a picture with your phone, then edit that, cut it into, and then create a JPEG out of that and save it on your computer to be inserted places. That's come in handy for me over the last few months. But you can scan using your phone, either just the plain photo app. There are also free scanning apps that help you kind of create better documents for scanning. I recommend one of those. You will also need to do a final assessment. We talked about that. The internship showcase you'll need to participate in as well. The Spotlight Tumblr survey. And then you also have to complete all your academic requirements as assigned by your faculty mentor. Those are on your contracts. Again, I will get those contracts to you as soon as I can. You have to attend your internship, get all the hours in, and actually attend and do that work. And the due dates for everything are by August 24th for you. Travel reimbursement is available for those students not receiving funding. If you're having to travel for your internship, that is up to $175. That may be adjusted downward. I have not received my my budget for next year, and depending on what that looks like, I may have to adjust that down, but there may be some travel reimbursement available to you. I will update you on that when I know more. There is a form to fill out on Moodle if you would like that. Other information related to internships. In Moodle, there is a Title IX and sexual misconduct information section. Please take a look at that. There are documents for both domestic internships and international internships. And this is in case you are a victim or a perpetrator of sexual misconduct. There are resources there for you. And because you are doing an internship supported by Center, the Title IX requirements or expectations are still applicable for you. Information for international internships can be found also in Moodle. Please take a look at that if you're doing an international internship for more information from Parsons and about their recommendations. So I want to talk a little bit about common internship issues. These are things that I come across. They're more applicable for academic credit internships, but I think that for those of you doing non-credit internships, it can be helpful too. So our main issues that I see from students on the student side are not enough hours and not challenging enough. So if you are not getting the hours that you expect, or your internship is not providing you with the challenge that you expected, I highly recommend that you talk to your supervisor about this. I know that it's a little bit more difficult. Many of you are not doing internships in person, but I do recommend that you have this conversation with your supervisors. A lot of times they just don't know that this is happening for you. And especially right now, everybody is working extra hard to make everything work while working from home or dealing with being in person with COVID issues. And so having that conversation is important. If you have that conversation and it's still a problem, please reach out to me and we can talk through ways we might be able to help improve that for you. On the other hand, from the supervisor's issue, or supervisor side, common issues that I see are related actually to professionalism. So please pay attention to your professional attitudes while you're doing your internships. My main two issues that I hear from employers, well, three actually, is one, being on time. Please be on time for everything. If you're not early, you're not on time. Pay attention to dress codes. Even if you're doing things virtually, please make sure that you are dressed appropriately, at least on the top, for the meetings and things that you're supposed to be attending. If you don't know what your dress code is for your office or for who you're working for, please ask them. This is a totally appropriate question. Please ask them what they expect you to wear. And then electronics usage. Virtually, this is a little bit more difficult because they can't really see you, but it is obvious when somebody is in a meeting and you are on a second screen or doing something else. If this is a habit for you or difficult for you to set aside, I highly recommend getting rid of all your other distractions while you're in virtual meetings. Again, like right now, I'm looking at my phone, and that's pretty easy. And it makes it look like pretty easily like that you're facing the computer, but you can tell somebody's eyes are down. And you can tell somebody is not paying attention, and that can be distracting for the speakers or the other people in the meeting. If you're in person, please be aware that any electronics usage, especially with a phone, is going to be seen as you not paying attention. I do recognize the fact that we use our phones a lot for professional things, calendars, notes, looking things up that you might be trying to figure out, like as they're talking. I recommend that you ask to use electronics before a meeting or before talking to somebody, or just saying, hey, do you mind if I'm just going to look this up really quick while you guys keep talking? I'm going to look this up. Otherwise, I recommend that you turn your phone off or to silent and only respond to text or other modes of communication on your phone when you have breaks or when you're on your own. Again, the perception always, especially with young people, is that you are using your phones for not professional reasons, and they're going to assume that you are using it for games or being on Instagram or something. So just take that out of the equation. That's the easiest to do. And finally, for those students doing virtual internships, please just be aware this is a little different than an in-person internship. You're doing things on your own a lot, and it's highly independent. And I know that center students are highly independent students, but it can be easy to put work off. So recommendations I have for virtual internships are to set aside specific times during the day that you are going to work. Make sure that your supervisor knows what time those are, so that if you need to set up meetings or they need to reach out to you, they understand, and that if you agree upon these work times, then they know when you're available and they don't reach out to you, hopefully, during your personal time. Keep away as many distractions as possible, and maybe set up smaller goals for yourself to meet per day, to-do lists for your days, so that you can kind of keep track where you're at and what you want to accomplish. If you have any questions, you can contact me at Mindy Wilson, mindy.wilson@center.edu, or my office number is 859-238-8792. I am not in the office this summer, as you can tell. I'm at home. However, I do have my my voicemail forwarded to my email. So if you leave a message there, I'll get it and be able to call you back from home. I hope that you have fabulous summers. Again, I know that this summer is very, very different. Every summer, I've been doing this for 16 years now, and every summer we've had issues that have come up with internships. I expect this summer to have more. So please don't feel bad about reaching out to me. Um, and please know that our office is dedicated to helping you, helping this be the best summer for you. So please don't worry about reaching out. Don't worry about what that's going to look like, or be worried about how we're going to deal with funding or something like that. I'm here to help you and be a liaison and try to figure things out with you and for you. So please, again, reach out at any time with any questions you may have. And I'm happy to help at any time. Thank you.